सबको सादर नमस्ते. Today is January 26th, Friday, and we are now going to start our session on Sandhya Upaasanaa and Mantra Swadhyaya. आप सभी लोगों का जिन्होंने ज्वाइन किया सबका स्वागत है और जो YouTube पे सुन रहे हैं या Facebook पे सुन रहे हैं उन सभी का भी स्वागत है. Our speaker today, let me I'm going to highlight her. नमस्ते अनन्या जी, आपका स्वागत है संध्या उपासना में. तो
धन्यवाद. नमस्ते
आप स्टार्ट करिए जब भी चाहें.
जी. सबको सादर नमस्ते. Let's sit straight, close our eyes gently. We will start Sandhya by chanting Ishwar's prime name Om 3 times. Inhale deeply. Inhale. One more time. Inhale all the way up. ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः ॐ वाक् वाक् ॐ प्राणः प्राणः ॐ चक्षुः चक्षुः ॐ श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम् ॐ नाभिः ॐ हृदयम् ॐ कण्ठः ॐ शिरः ॐ बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम् ॐ करतलकरपृष्ठे. In this month, we pray to God to bless our body parts with strength and vigor. May we keep them healthy. May we keep them full of strength. May we keep them in discipline and use them for benevolent deeds. And may we direct them to fulfill righteous purpose. ॐ भूः पुनातु शिरसि ॐ भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः ॐ स्वः पुनातु कण्ठे ॐ महः पुनातु हृदये ॐ जनः पुनातु नाभ्याम् ॐ तपः पुनातु पादयोः ॐ सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि ॐ खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र। ॐ भुः ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ ऋतं च सत्यं चाभिधात्तपसोऽध्यजायत ततो रात्र्यजायत ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधी संवत्सरो अजायत अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य मिषतो वशी ॐ सूर्याचन्द्रमसौ धाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमथो स्वः ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः ॐ प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षिता नित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं वोजं भेदद्मः ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्थिरश्चिराजि रक्षिता पितरैषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं वोजं भेदद्मः ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्थिरश्चिराजि रक्षिता पितरैषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं वोजं भेदद्मः ॐ प्रतीचेदिग्वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदाको रक्षितान्नमिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ उदीचेदिक्सोमोऽधिपतिः स्वजो रक्षिता शनिरिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्द्वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ ध्रुवादिक्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माषग्रीवो रक्षिता वीरुधैषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः येभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं वोजं भेदद्मः ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिक्बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः श्वित्रो रक्षिता वर्षमिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः येभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् वेष्टियं वयं द्विष्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ उद्वयं तमसस्परिस्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरम् देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्मज्योतिरुत्तमम् ॐ उदुत्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम् ॐ चित्रं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्नेः आप्राद्यावा पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्तु शस्य स्वाहा ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्तात् शुक्रमुच्चरत् पश्येम शरदः शतं जीवेम शरदः शतं शृणुयाम शरदः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदः शतमदीनाः स्याम शरदः शतं भूयश्च शरदः शतात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् हे ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासनादिकर्मणा धर्मार्थकाममोक्षाणां सद्यः सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च ॐ शान्तिः 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 Rub our palm, place over closed eyes, gently open the eyes, take away our palm. Let me share the mantra for today.
I have to make you first co-host.
जी जी जी
आप co-host हैं अब।
जी Yeah, you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
जी ठीक है. This is the mantra from Rig Ved, 6th mandal, 18th Sukt and the 8th Mantra. This entire Sukt is about the duties of a king, how he should implement his policies, what all he should do for his subjects, how he should lead the people, how he should lead the administration. This mantra may seem to be that this is related to the people who are in politics or the people who are in the leading position or who are in the administration. But when we will learn its detail, we will gradually understand how is it related to our life as well. Because a king is a leader, a king is a ruler who governs the nation, who takes care of his people, who takes care of his subjects, who leads his people in the right direction. Similarly, we are also leaders, we are also directors, we are also managers in our small units. Maybe in a family, in an institution, as a teacher, maybe any one of us could be a manager. So in each and every point of time, we are in a situation when we need to manage and lead the people. We need to interact with them well, and as well as we are, many a times we are guide for them, even as a parent. And I gave you the example of a teacher. What we set as examples for them. So it is always said it is always best to lead them by example. By walking the by walk we should walk the talk. Same is said for here a king. When I analyze the meaning of this mantra, it was so good, it was so meaningful, and I also refer to Satyarth Prakash's 6 Samulas, wherein which talks about the duties of royalty, duties of a king, duties towards the state, towards the kingdom, wherein Maharshi Dayanand has quoted many shlokas of Manusmriti. And in fact, Manusmriti itself has 3 chapters, 9, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And it has in total more than 500 shlok, which are for the which are around this, about the qualities of a king, about his duties, about his justice system, about the tax, about the various conflicts which happens in a state, how to resolve all those things. So it's given in too much detail, because Kshatriya, they are the one of the 4 varnas, and they play a very important role in our life. They play a very important role as a guide for its subjects, for us. And it clearly says that yatha raja tatha praja, we have heard about it, that how, what all qualities he has, what all qualities he cultivates in himself, what all he does, he that becomes a direction, that becomes a guideline, and the system and order he sets up for us, for his people, for his subjects. That decides the quality of our life. Because I was today only I was reading through a WhatsApp message, maybe in the this some announcement group. It was a very good message. Let me find it out if I could. It was something like that, that scholarly discussions and intellectual discussion does not hold any value if it is not well protected by our administration, by our rulers, and by our leaders. So we are safe, we are protected, we are prosperous, we can think of other things only when our soldiers, our administration are working at the higher level. Our soldiers are well managed on the borders. And the second aspect is that, as I told previously, that how a king should be, how a president should be, the same we should also strive to have these qualities in our life when we lead as parents, as elders, as grandparents, as teachers, as guide. So this mantra says, sa yo na muhe. So it says basically, it's a little big mantra. Na muhe na mithu jano. So we will start it from na muhe jano. So that means those people, the subjects or the people of that nation, of that king, they do not fall prey to moh. They do not fall prey to ignorance. They do not fall prey to negligence, which all people do not fall prey to them, or which do not, those people, they do not follow the unrighteous path. They are not led to an evil path, because there are three states of, you can say, everything, each and everything in this universe is made up of three basic particles: sattva, raj, and tam. Sattva means mode of goodness, raj means mode of action or mode of passion, mode of desire, and the third is moh, that is the state of ignorance, state of non-discernment, state of um, negligence, state of state where one is not able to make his decision clearly, where one is not able to think clearly. So that's what it says. Or we can say that when one uh, chooses the path of evil, so then he is in moh, he is in deep ignorance, he is in deep attachment. And for example, any state which is in excess, maybe anger, maybe losing patience, then one is not able to think clearly for himself. So that's what it says, that those people, they are not on the unrighteous path, whose king's subjects are not on the unrighteous path. It says the one who is na mithu. Mithu means mithya, the one who does not lie. So the one of the quality it states is that king should be truthful. When I read in the Satyarth Prakash, the second shlok, which it wherein it talks about the qualities, what all qualities a king should cultivate in himself, is it says that Brahme Praptam Sanskaran, that a king is the one, that person is worthy of a king, that person is worthy of a ruler or a guide who cultivates the qualities of a Brahman, or we can say that who has touched upon the qualities of a spiritual person, who has touched upon the qualities of a Brahman, who has touched upon the qualities of a learned or scholar people. So it clearly says that a king should be learned, a king should be highly truthful, and in many ways it says, or it comes out, that a king is an equivalent to a Brahman. In what sense? Because they share very similar qualities. Because Brahman has to, this is the quality of a sannyasi, of a Brahman or a scholar or a learned people, to guide to guide his disciples, to guide his students, so that they always follow the righteous paths, and in order to establish dharma in the society, to establish the right order and system in the society. That's what a king does with the help of laws. He also implements the rules and regulations. He also that he ensures that dharma is being followed, his rules are being followed. So if you go in the depth, there is no difference between dharma and dand, between dharma and nyay, between dharma and justice. Because what is the purpose of dharma is to make us follow those rules, those regulations, those principles of life which take us in the right direction of life, which takes us in the uh, which takes us to our progress, to our advancement, to our upliftment in life. Same way, if because all this Nyaya Vyavastha, all this justice, all these kings, um, all this system and order, they come into play, this administration come into play, because in the ancient times it is said that people were naturally tend to towards their duties. Dharma is nothing but to follow one's duties, what one is supposed to do in a particular situation, in what phase of life one is. If one is a householder, what all dharma he needs to follow, what all rules and regulations one needs to be aware of and be diligent of. And second part of dharma is to uphold to our qualities, to uphold to qualities of dhriti, kshama, dam. We all know that. To maintain the qualities of humanity, that is dharma. And the same way is when people left the path of dharma, and the one who was more powerful, who was mightier than the other person, they start to step upon their rights. Then comes this law, this order, this Nyaya Vyavastha, this done into the system. Then this punishment come into the system. Then this administration come into the picture, because someone has to take the duty to protect the rights of its people. Someone has to take the duty to ensure that people feel safe and protected wherein they are living. They are not fearful of thieves, they are not fearful of robbers and hoarders and other kind of exploiters. So that's where, so they fall in the same lines. It just that it is no doubt that without following dharma is when one follows that path internally, and law or governance is when it is made to be followed externally by making rules and regulations. So there is no doubt about it. 100% dharma cannot be implemented by law and order, but at the same time, without law and order, there will be all chaos, and nothing will be in system. So because, and moreover, law and order, all those police and administration, they cannot find out if somebody is highly evil at the level of mind, if someone is unrighteous at the level of mind, but still they can maintain external order and system. So purpose is same. Secondly, as a Brahmin should be just, he should be fair, he should be honest with his students or with his disciples, the same way a king should be. A king should be highly honest, he should be highly truthful, he should be highly just with his people. Only then he can build a nation, only then he can do the justice with all his subjects. And similarly, there are many more qualities, that he should be well-wisher of all. He should neither be too attached, or he should neither be attached or averse to his people. He should be highly disciplined. He should be master of his senses. So all those qualities are listed of a king. Only that person becomes the worthy of presidentship. And if you will contemplate on it, same qualities are exhibited by a Brahman. So to summarize it, I would say that a king should possess those qualities. He should have touched that point where a sadhak starts his life, where a spiritual seeker starts his life. And it is highly expected out of a king to know the dharma, earth and calm, what all he needs to set up the righteousness in the society, so that his subjects follow that path of dharma. His subjects are they are able to fulfill their desires, and they are able to attain whatever wealth, whatever prosperity, whatever enjoyment they want to have. So all those arrangements a king need to make. And dharma, we know, that is the basis of all. That's the base of all. So that's where this mantra says that a king should be the one who is highly truthful. And it is also in Manusmriti Satyavadinam that a king should be truthful. Only then he will be able to maintain justice. Only then he will be able to disseminate justice to his subjects, and only then people will believe him. Otherwise, that will lead to a revolution. And I think India is also lucky enough to have Narendra Modi, because he also has certain qualities of a Vedic king, not 100%, but yes, he is also close to that. That's why he is able to lead his nation well, and his people trust him. And only a truthful and righteous and just king will be able to build a relationship and trust amongst his people. Then it says further, Bhut Sumantu Nama. And okay. Sumantu means Sumanan. Only then he will be called as the one जो अच्छा मनन करने वाला है, who is contemplative, who is reflective, who thinks deeply before jumping onto his action. So a king, a leader, a manager should be highly contemplative. So what it means to say that if a king follows all those things, that he doesn't lie, and there are further other things which are expected out of him, which we will read gradually, then he says that only that king is get his name, Sumantu Nam. He becomes popular, he becomes famous as a good king, as a king who is highly contemplative in nature, because he has to deliver the justice. So Manusmriti also says that whatever he does, he should do it samiksha, by analyzing the things properly, by looking at the evidences, by giving a proper thought to it. Only then he should make a decision, because it is a very high responsibility. And that also brings me to a point, as recently in Ayodhya, that inauguration of that Ram temple has happened. And therein also Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, it says it many times, that देव से देश और राम से राष्ट्र का विस्तार करेंगे, that we will expand our nation, we will spread the policies, we will spread our nation based on the policies of Ram Rajya, because Sri Ram was considered as an ideal king, and the way he has led his empire. He was at that time Chakravarti, he was the Chakravarti Raja. The way he has led his nation with honesty, with just, with being righteous, the same way we will strive to expand, we will try to implement those policies in us. So that was a question which was also in my mind since I was a child. And we all have seen Ramayana. We know that Sri Ram was an ideal son, he was ideal husband, he was an ideal brother, and he was an ideal king too. We have seen that how he was faithful and how he was committed towards his brother, towards his father, towards his wife. But where we have seen his Ram Rajya? In the Ramayana, because the day he was about to be coronated, the very next day he was sent to an exile. And when he came back, thereafter, very little Uttarkand, and people also used to say that whatever is shown, that is also not very much evident, और वो प्रमाणिक उतना नहीं है. Where in that entire Ramayana they have shown his Rajya, the way he has led his people or his policies, we have not seen. Then why is it always called that Ram Rajya was very ideal, or we should follow those policies and we should follow his path? So that question also got resolved when I read in Ramayana. There is an Ayodhya Kand. In Ayodhya Kand, there is a 100th chapter, 100th serve, and all the shloks in that particular chapter that talks about his policies. When did he talk about that? When Bharat went after him to bring him back to the nation, he was um, he was very worried. He was not happy. He wants him to be back at the Ayodhya. At that time, he said, at that time, Shri Ram, of course, he was not ready to go back, but he wanted to take care of his brother well, and in the pretext of inquiring about the well-being, about the welfare of Ayodhya, of his father, of the people of Ayodhya, he gave him certain directions, he gave him certain instructions, he gave him certain guidelines, which talks about how his policies were, what all he wanted to what all he wanted Bharat to implement in his own life, to implement in his empire, to implement in his kingdom, so that he also become a good king and he also takes care well of his subjects. And at that time also he tells to him, these are the two shlokas. There are many shlokas which talks about the policies of an empire. So it clearly says at that point, कच्चिद् आत्मसमाः शूराः श्रुतवन्तो जितेन्द्रियाः कुलीनाः च इंगितजनाः च कृताः ते तात मंत्रिणः. At that point he asked Bharat that the people, or the not people, the ministers, mantrinah, mantri log, ministers in your state, are they as much shuraha, are they as much valiant as you are, atmasama, as you are they as much valiant? Shrutvanto, the people, shruti means ved, are they learned as you? Jitendriyaha, are they master of their senses? Kulinaha, do they belong to a noble family? Do they have good sanskar? And ingit janaha, the people easily who can easily make out what are the internal sentiments of a king by just looking at his gesture, जो इशारे से भी समझ जाएं, इंगित करने से समझ जाएं what is going on and what a king wants for his nation. Means they follow you, they follow your guidelines or not. So that's where he also talks about on the same ideology of what Manusmriti says, of what Vedas says, that how a state should be run, how a kingdom should be run, and what all qualities a king should have. So that's where then I realized, yes, that's why he was considered as an ideal king. He was considered as his Rajya was considered, his Rajya is considered as ideal till today. And let me go back to the, and yeah, second shlok is also referring to the same thing. As I said, Sumantu, the entire mantra focuses on this point, and we being the leaders for somebody, we being the guide for somebody, if we contemplate on our actions, if we over and over think deeply before getting into action, it is very important aspect, because what we are going to do, we are going to set an example for the people who consider as their guide, who consider us as their leaders. So it says in this mantra, कच्चिन निद्रा वशम न एषि कच्चित काले विबुध्यसे कच्चिन च अपर रात्रिषु चिन्तयस्य अर्थ नैपुणम. That has it ever happened that nidra vasham, that due to excess of sleep, that you fall prey to excess of sleep, you have no control over your sleep, kachit kale vibuddhyase, whether you get up in the morning on time or not, or you get up late, kachin sa apar ratrishu, on in the basically it is talking about the other half of the night, or the fourth pair of the night, which is between 3 to 6, that at that point do you get up and do you do chintan, do you meditate, do you contemplate upon the earth, upon the economical and financial condition of the state, that everything is going well, because it is said that artho hi rajya moolam, Acharya Chanakya says that if your earth is set up well in the society, in your nation, only then you will be able to run it well. Dhanat dharmam tata sukham, that because only if one has his basic entities, basic necessities, basic comforts and convenience in his life, only then he can think about getting onto the next level. Only then, if his contemplation is right, if his direction is right before implementing his policies, only then he will be able to maintain his laws, his policies well in the nation. So that's where it talks about the Ram Rajya. And the same thing Manusmriti also says, Brahme Murte Buddheta Dharmarthaucha Anuchintet, that one should get up in that time. As a king, he should contemplate on that. And for other people, they should also contemplate and meditate upon what they are doing well and what they need to improve upon. So with that said, I will conclude today's session because time is up, and the rest of the mantra we will do in our next session. I would try to complete this mantra in the next session, which talks about basic around the laws and justice of a king, and what all qualities he himself should have first, and try to implement it in his people. And the same way we can also learn how we should uh, there are many guidelines which we can implement in our life to guide, to direct to our children, our students, our people. And that's it for today. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we will conclude with Shanti part.
Please stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
ठीक है, किसी को प्रश्न हो तो प्लीज यू कैन आस्क, यू कैन अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ. लगता है नहीं. ठीक है, चलो फिर शांति पाठ कर दो.
One small request. It is general, nothing about that topic. When you start Sandhya, we usually start with the Gayatri Mantra, then go to Shan. But you start with Shan. That is a bit confusing.
Yeah, you are right. I should have started with Gayatri Mantra. Yeah, last time I started, but this time I forgot. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have seen other acharyas also, they forget, they just jump to the other one. So that's not a big issue. Okay. It happens. We forget and we just go to Shanno Devi Rabishta.
Yeah.
Anyway, चलिए फिर शांति पाठ कर दीजिए and then we'll conclude.
ॐ द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षम् शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.
अनन्या जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आज का प्रवचन देने का, और सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो सब जुड़े हुए हैं. अब आई एम गोइंग टू क्लोज द सेशन, बट जस्ट वन अनाउंसमेंट, maybe two announcements. One is that about maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, like 9 p.m. Eastern time, that Swadhyaya will begin on Gita by Acharya Hari Prasad ji from India. And also tomorrow, reminder about tomorrow's Apsa Havan that starts at 11 a.m. So जिनका भी कोई रुचि हो तो प्लीज आप उनमें जुड़ने का जरूर प्रयत्न कीजिए. Thank you very much everybody for joining this session today, and I'm going to now close the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you जी, thank you all.
नमस्ते जी सबको हमारी तरफ से.
नमस्ते जी.